And welcome back to Jeff Koinange Live here at Citizen Television. What a great lineup of guests today. And the topic is our gains and our hopes. Right next to me, former Deputy Chief Justice Dr. Nancy Baraza. Right next to her, Winfred Lichuma, former chair at NGEC. And on the far end, Kagwiri Mbogori, former chair, Kenya National Human Rights Commission. Ladies, good to see you all. Welcome to JKLIVE.
Thank you. Welcome.
Dr. Baraza, let me start with you. The appointment of or selection of Martha Karua as a running mate for Azimio la Umoja One Kenya Party Alliance. Your thoughts? What were your immediate thoughts when you heard that announcement?
Extremely elated. Very, very happy. It was a happy moment for Kenyans. I was proud of that move on the part of the Right Honorable Raila Odinga. And the signal is good. Sends out a good signal that Kenya is on the right path in terms of inclusive governance. That the journey that women have walked to come out of marginalization in decision-making probably is coming to an end. And so the nomination of the Honorable Karua as a running mate is the closest so far that women have come to real power, close to real power, because for the first time, a woman is a running mate for a candidate who can easily become the president of the republic. And so that's a big deal for us. It is a big, big gain for women, a big gain for this country. And the celebration that went on after the announcement around the country, the happiness that we witnessed, I think it shows that men, women, children, youth, everybody in this country wants inclusivity, wants a government that is fair, that values everybody. And so I was happy, and I'm happy. I'm proud of this country. I think we are on the right path.
Winfred Lichuma, your thoughts?
Thanks, Jeff. On my part, it is an aha moment for the women of this country. Why do I say it's an aha moment? Remember, I chaired the Gender Commission soon after the Constitution was adopted. And for over 10 years, we have not been able to realize the not more than two-thirds gender role. We exhausted all the domestic remedy up to Parliament. Then the Honorable Chief Justice did advise the President to dissolve Parliament as per the Constitution. And that didn't happen. The women of this country have never understood whether they belong or they don't. Because, I mean, we have the highest law of this country saying there must be inclusivity. The gender equality principle is under Article 27. An article that cannot be amended until we go back to the Kenyans. But we've not been able to realize the two-thirds gender rule, be it at the lower level, in the county governments, in the national government, and even at the Parliament. And for me, the nomination of Honorable Martha is an aha moment because we are soon going to get there by default. But really by right, because that is the right thing to do. Yes. Aha.
Aha moment, you said.
Yes.
Very nice. Kagwiri Mbogori.
For me, I was overly elated. I've known Martha and Dr. Baraza here almost my whole professional life because they were my bosses when I started in the early 90s in FIDA, Kenya. And I would say that these are women who preceded us in the women's movement in this country. And although I joined so soon in fact, after the Nairobi Women's Conference, but just the year we had the Vienna Conference on Human Rights, when the clarion call was women's rights are human rights. And the need to say that is to say that there was, before that slogan, it's like maybe women's rights were not really seen part and parcel of human rights. So it's been a long journey, let's say almost 30 years now for me. And there's that moment when you see the crack in the ceiling and the announcement by Honorable Raila Odinga that his running mate was Martha. For me, I cried a little, I laughed a lot, I prayed, I praised, and I'm beginning to see that crack in the ceiling.
That's a good point. That's a really good point. A moment ago, Winfred, you mentioned the women needing this 2/3 gender parity, and we're getting there. What do women need to do to chart that path? What more needs to be done? I mean, it's in the Constitution, like you said.
Yeah.
What more do we need to do?
Okay, Jeff, I think the moment is here, and it must be action. Women need to come and rally behind Martha. It's a moment we've all been waiting for. It has never been there. 2010, we got the Constitution. 2013, the main parties never gave room to a woman. 2017, of course, some women came as front runners, but they didn't make it. But now here, we have a chance. A moment has been given from one of the leading political parties, naming a woman, none other than Honorable Martha, who we all know. Surely, why wouldn't the women come up and support Martha?
By the way,
we need to.
Okay, listen to this.
And both women and men.
And men.
And men.
Dr. Baraza, women, you are your own worst enemies. I just got a message here from Gladys Chalet, woman rep, Western Gishu. She says...
What does she say?
What does she say?
I'll read it right now. It says, it's amusing the fixation of a woman selected. There are many more candidates who have selected women to be their own running mates in this race. Ruben Kigame, Kaluyu Joseph, Kariora, who picked his wife, and now Raila Odinga. All nominated women as running mate. In the past, it's also been done. Kalonzo Musyoka had Julia Ojiambo, Ole Kiapi with Winnie. It's really not a first for women. Dr. Baraza, your thoughts?
I think Gladys is sending that message with a tongue in her cheek. She was here, was it this station not too long ago? And she said she really hopes that the Honorable Raila Odinga is going to pick Martha to be his running mate. And she would be very, very happy if that happens. I think I heard that. So this is a bit of a surprise message, but I know it's with a tongue in her cheek. She knows that we have running mates, but we started off by saying a woman being selected to run as a deputy president on a major political party. And Martha herself has had a stab at the presidency. But, this is different, right? This is a major political party. Just like if UDA had, is it called UDA?
Or Kenya Kwanza.
Or Kenya Kwanza, if it had picked on a woman, I think we would equally have been excited because it is a major political party. And it has a chance of winning an election, and so a woman would have a chance of becoming a deputy president of the republic.
Kagwile, tell me something.
Okay, I think Gladys Chalet is onto something. And it is true that we have seen some of this before. But this is the first, as my senior says, this is the first time we've seen a woman being nominated on a big platform, a major political contender for the next elections. And that therefore, she's not going to pour rain on my parade. I'm going to celebrate. But she has a point. And I just hope that the tenor that has been set by Honorable Raila Odinga will also now devolve to the counties, so that we begin seeing every person who is running for governor, if it's a woman, she takes a male running mate, and all male running mates start selecting female running mates. I know it has happened. In her list, she did not include Professor Kivutha Kibwana, Governor Kivutha Kibwana, who chose Honorable Adelina Mwao. And they have made a very good pair in Makueni, at least to those of us who have been observing Makueni and how they have gone about their business. So, and there are a number of other counties that have also had deputy governors, women deputy governors, or male deputy governors where they're women. But I hope that this is going to be the trend. But the other thing I wanted to talk about is that Winnie talked about the two-thirds gender rule. You know, it was never written in stone that you can only have a third of women in a board or in the seats of cabinet, but no, it's taken as if it's split, so that when you see that even our own commissions, when we were commissioners were being appointed, you just see that sometimes it's not quite getting to that percentage, you know,
yeah. So
that instead of having two-thirds, it is read as if it's 2 point something, and you cannot split a person. You know, so I just hope that this devolves even into other, not just national, but also county and also the other bodies, yeah, and other boards.
Winfred, you mentioned that you hope women will come out and men will come out and vote for Martha, right? Mm-hmm. Let me ask you, what does she bring to the table?
A lot.
You must be a stranger in Jerusalem. Really, you are a stranger.
What a question to ask.
What a question to ask. Let me bring you close home, Jeff. Why was it necessary to have the diversity principles written in the Constitution? Since independence, by the time we were adopting the Constitution in 2010, Jeff, Kenya only had made up to 12 women to sit in parliament. And that time we only had one national parliament. What has happened all these years? One woman, 2 women, 3 women. You remember when we tried to bring in the affirmative action motion by Mama Phoebe Asio? It never saw the light of the day. So women now are coming up, and why do we need women in leadership? Diversity contributes to development. Mm-hmm. Because at that point, and we talk about diversity, it's not only women, persons with disabilities. Women are not homogeneous. We're looking at young women, women with disabilities, older women, women from marginalized communities. And let me tell you, you need to go around this country to see the enormous things women have done. I was in Turkana the other day. Women have been empowered. They are trading. They're in markets. They're sending their children to schools. Mm-hmm. Girls are no longer getting married at an early age of 8, 12, 13. Can an 8-year-old girl be a wife? Some communities have still subjected girls to that. What did the women leadership bring to this? Education. Patriarchy. We need to break up some of those bad old traditions that are tied around patriarchy, to give everybody an equal platform. Thank God to the two-third gender rule. Jeff, you are having 3 of us here. Isn't that good enough?
I'm in the minority.
I really, what Mother brings on this table is education for both boys and girls. Mother brings good health because, of course, the policies that will be made by the government will be gender responsive. What else do we need?
You're saying, is that a question? What kind of a question you're saying?
What kind of a question?
Yes.
I mean, she has such a track record. And that track record being defined because she's a woman. She got to the Ministry of Water. I think her first ministry as a cabinet minister. And what became of the Ministry of Water? We never used to hear about water. Water became a topic for the government, something that the government never focused on, all right? We need gender diversity, gender parity in decision-making, at any decision-making table, because men bring a value system. Women bring a value system. And they are different, but they complement each other. So that if you just have male people at the decision-making table, they may mean well in their decisions, in their development agenda, but some things elude them. They don't focus on them. E.g., water. For the longest time, we never focused on water. Health. Health started picking up as a discourse for government when Charity Ngilu became the Minister for Health. All right? And education also. Now, women bring what men may not bring. And that's why we need gender diversity. And if you look at countries that have embraced diversity in governance, their development index is very high. Their social development index is very, very high. And you remember, every year the UNDP releases social development indices around the world. And the countries that have embraced gender parity have a very high social development index. All right? And Kenya, I think we are on that path since the Constitution 2010, because if you have a gender, or women, for that matter, being left behind, then, and they are 50% or 51%. We are more than you guys.
Yes, you are.
We are. And you leave us behind, and you try to develop, we will pull you down. So our index will remain down. But if we all develop at the same level, then we pull each other and our development index will be high. And this is scientific. And that is why United Nations adopted the 1/3 gender as a rule. Right. Basing on critical mass theory, I think so. If you don't meet the 1/3 gender, 1/3 percentage, then you won't have an impact on the decision making. So that in Parliament, if we have paltry numbers of women, 10, 15 out of 290, then we'll never feel their impact. We'll never feel the impact until we hit that 1/3. This is scientific, you know, adopted by United Nations.
And maybe Kagwira also talk about accountability, Martha and accountability.
Yes, actually.
I forgot about that. She will fill in.
Go on.
I think actually, for me, Mother is one of the human beings in this country that I truly admire. She's, we have a lot of talkers and a lot of people who just, you know, kuongea ndio kwingi, but she's a doer. And she's a person of principle. And I think she is a very effective leader, and this is not subjective, but from an objective viewpoint. She has sat in the Ministry of Justice and Constitutional Affairs, and she's very well, of course, versed in the law. Incidentally, we are all lawyers. And she's really been a vocal advocate for human rights and women's rights in general. But apart from that, I just hope, us being your guest here tonight, Jeff, I hope that the people of Kenya heed this clarion call Women are very good leaders, and I'm talking from experience, from my own observation. In a lot of families where there's a girl who is educated and who maybe has some wherewithal, you find that those parents are very well taken care of, and everyone or relatives go to school, and the family status is generally uplifted. As the chair of the National Commission, I traveled all over the country. And one of the things I used to have is these informal conversations with the people I met. And I remember I met this man in Wajir. And he was a businessman just doing some small business in the town. But he was wearing a very nice-looking suit. Then I told him, hey, Mzee, uko smart sana. Kaniambia msichana yangu naletea mimi. You know? And then, and it is a thing I've heard over and over and over. Girl children, when they are educated, their parents have reaped fruits. And this is now leadership at a family or domestic level. And that therefore I just want to really, nataka kuwahimiza wa Kenya, chagueni wamama. Wamama hawata wasahau, you know? Let's not just choose women, but choose women who will actually deliver, and do those whose track records are not full of lies or madoidos or just, I don't know. There are stereotypes that we need to beat. Yeah. You asked a question to Dr. Baraza before, what do we need to do? We must beat stereotypes. Yeah. And one of the worst lies that the devil himself made and made people believe is that women are the worst enemies of themselves. We are not. We lift each other. And the chama business, which has now become integrated into the business models in our country, that was that is a mama approach to development and to kuinuana, you know, helping each other and taking each other forward. And men now are in chamas as well, eh?
Yes.
You know that. That model, the chama model, the small group model of we used to call them merry-go-rounds. Because when it is your turn, you become merry and it keeps going round and round. So it's a merry-go-round. Right. And that's a model that is now almost everywhere I've worked in the world. I've found that there are those, in West Africa, they're called susu. And there are so many of these replicated women's way of organizing and of helping each other. And I think that in Kenya, we are in that space right now. If we choose the right leaders, we will be able kujiinua hatua kwa hatua. Lakini wamama lazima wawepo.
And so you're nodding, Dr. Baraza.
Yes. On mother specifically. You asked, what does she bring?
Dynamism.
Clean governance, you know? And I'm talking about corruption. The biggest enemy of Kenyans is corruption. Now, mother will get rid of corruption. Mother will clean government. And that is a value she brings, which you don't find in many of our leaders. We are celebrating corruption. It is killing us. It is taking away our resources. But we celebrate it. Now, she will not celebrate corruption. Okay? Is that small?
No.
No, that's not small.
That's the biggest cancer here.
Isn't it? I have heard you talk about it.
It's killing this country.
Absolutely. Now, you want to clean it up so that instead of money going to people's pockets, we get money going to education. We get money going to health. We get
agriculture.
I was so sad yesterday. A young girl somewhere in Kitui, she passed very well. She got 4 or 5 marks, I think so. She's been admitted to Muthale High School, and she's looking after God because they are too poor. She can't. Now, where is our money going? The money that we generate the money that is, allotted to counties and wherever, if it is not stolen, we will have all our children go to school, all right? So if somebody tells Kenyans, here is a leader who is going to frown at corruption and try to get rid of corruption, that is the leader you should take. Because then we shall have money, enough resources to go into our water, into our health, into school fees for our children. Isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's a lot
But
of
maybe, Dr. Barasa, we just need to ask Jeff that by the time we leave this room, we must convince Jeff that he should never repeat that statement that women are their own enemies.
What?
I don't think so.
No,
it is a stereotype, and it should
was it because of Gladys? Gladys Gladys loves Martha. Gladys respects Martha.
And not only that, she is in parliament courtesy of
women.
The affirmative action.
But is Martha going to get the women's vote? I want to ask you this when I come back. Is she going to get the women's vote?
And she should not just look at women's vote, even men.
All right.
Men who want good governance, they should give their vote to
all people of goodwill.
Of goodwill.
I also have to ask you about the Ruto-Rigathi duo. What do you guys think of that after the break? Think about it. What do you think?
Okay, let's think.
We'll think.
I love it. I love it. Kagwiri Mbogori, Winfred Chuma, Dr. Nancy Baraza, all in.
Let's think.
Did you call me a visitor in Jerusalem? Take a quick break. Keep tweeting at Koinange Jeff at Citizen TV Kenya. The hashtag is JKLIVE. JKLIVE takes a break. We'll be back in a moment.